Hey, this is Dr. B, and let's talk about math as it applies to chemists. Just a couple of quick points. Number one, when chemists are using numbers, it's usually in reference to a thing. In this particular example, the thing happens to be ethanol, and we'd like to find out how much ethanol is in that graduated cylinder. So let's go ahead and do that. We see that it's between 6 and 7 milliliters, and we estimate between the two graduations. That's a rule that scientists apply, and we're going to estimate 6.7 milliliters of ethanol. Notice that there's three things in that answer. There is the number, 6.7, the unit of measure, which is the milliliters, and what it is, the label, in this case, ethanol. So try to resist that urge just to write a number. Also include the unit and the label whenever you think it's appropriate. It's a common error. Chemists also manipulate these numbers with formulas, and in this particular case, suppose we'd like to know the mass of ethanol in that cylinder. Now we could just weigh it, but we could also use a formula. Density is equal to mass over volume, so we have the volume. We can look up the density, and from that we can get the mass. Let's rearrange that formula. Mass is equal to volume times density. And let's look up the density, and we find out that it's 0.71 grams per milliliter. We then set up our problem so that it convinces us that it's converting from milliliters to grams. A milliliter divided by a milliliter is equal to 1, so it cancels. And we find out that we have exactly 4.757 grams of ethanol, but in fact that number is too precise. If these numbers are only accurate to the tenth of a mil, how can we come up with an answer that's accurate to the thousandth of a mil? We can't, and that's where the concept of significant figures comes in. So we will apply a rule that you're going to learn in the next slide, and we will use two significant figures in our answer, giving us a final answer of 4.8 grams of ethanol. Notice it has the number, it has the unit, and it has the label. This is just a quick introduction of math as it applies to chemists.